everybody, it's Ike.
I'm Christine, hi.
And this is episode 21, and we're out here in our secret location. We're going to do some more UFO hunting. This is going to be our third try. Hopefully the third time's the charm, because this is quite a ways to drive to do this. And if I don't catch something this time, I'm going to wait till summertime, because obviously it's still cold out here. You can see how we're dressed, and the wind is still blowing.
I'm wearing 2 jackets. It's that cold.
But we're going to give it another try. Typical shout outs go to Larry Lawson and his show, Indian River Hauntings, on every Tuesday at 5 o'clock our time, 7 o'clock his time on YouTube. Check him out. Also check out Chris Hoff with Spirit Research Northeast. He has an awesome channel, awesome show. Both those guys are super awesome. I wish they'd come to New Mexico one day. We could all investigate something together. No beer challenge, obviously, because we're out in the middle of nowhere. Wouldn't want to be drinking beer here. We'd never find our way back. It's starting to get dark. Hopefully we get some luck and get some sightings out here. So I have a story while we're waiting for it to get dark. And I've been saving this story just for this occasion because it kind of ties in with what's happening here. And some of you subscribers that watch this channel were part of this story. You're also police officers, currently still are police officers. So this happened, I want to say probably 2004. And there's 3 of us out that night. And it's a summer night. And it's kind of slow at first. It's, I think, around 10, 11 o'clock at night now. Sorry about the wind. The wind's kicking up. So we get this call of a motor vehicle wreck, and it's a 2-lane road going north. And like I said, it's the same road I've talked about before. Very little traffic once it gets late. And there's a 2-lane road that intersects into a T with it. And this vehicle was coming down this road, ran the stop sign, shot across the northbound 2-lane road, went about 50 feet, and then turned upside down. So the 3 of us just happened to be about 25 miles south of that location, so we all respond together in that area. And when we get there, there's a car upside down, and there's music playing real loud. And there's one guy in the car, and he's deceased. There's one guy laying underneath the car. He's smashed, but still alive. And there's one guy walking around, appeared to be unhurt. And the smell of alcohol was really strong, you know. And it was kind of strange because I'm looking around and all kinds of stuff fell out of the car. And I seen a bunch of Harvard University books laying around. And I was telling the 2 guys I was with, I'm like, you know, something isn't right here. This is either a stolen car or maybe somebody fairly important. So we're doing our best to process the scene. When dispatch calls me and says they have a call of a person laying in the road south of our location, way south, by about 40 miles or so. Very rural out there. This is a country 2-lane road that has maybe 5 houses on it and a 40-mile stretch. Very remote rural. So I leave the 2 guys and I tell dispatch I'm en route, and I get the information as I'm going en route. And the information was this: an elderly couple was driving down the road when they seen a body laying in the middle of the road, and they're afraid to approach it. A person looks like he'd been run over, and they stopped short of it, and they're waiting for us to arrive. So I run code, I get over there, and I pull up to this ranching couple, and they're pointing at the guy laying in the road, and he looks wadded up, he's like a fetal position right in the middle of the road. So I'm like, great, another one. What's the odds of that? So I get out of my unit and I walk up there, and I stand over him, I look down at him, I'm like, I don't see any visible signs of injury or anything like that. So I pull out my expandable baton, in true police fashion, and start poking him. And I poke him, I'm like, hey, dude, can you hear me? The guy snaps out of it. He jumps up really quick, to the point where I take about 3 steps back and draw my firearm. I'm like, whoa, calm down. This guy is extremely confused. So I said, what are you doing? And he goes, no, what are you doing? And I'm like, no, I asked you first. And he says, where am I? And I said, well, you're south of a town here. And he didn't even know the town. He goes, so I don't even know where that's at. And I said, well, where are you from? And he goes, well, I'm from Albuquerque. Now keep in mind, Albuquerque, as the crow flies, is probably 50 miles from that location, and there's a mountain range in between, a mountain range with 10,000 foot peaks. This guy had no clue where the heck he was at. He was clean dressed. He didn't look like he fell out of a car. He was not intoxicated. Didn't appear to be on drugs. He was very polite once he calmed down. So I put him in my car and asked him, do you need an ambulance or anything? And he was still just confused. He goes, where am I? How did I get here? I'm like, well, I really don't know. He said the last thing he remembered, he was going home to his apartment in Albuquerque on foot, because that's the last thing I remember. And I said, by what time was that? And he goes, what time is it now? And I don't remember the exact time, but it was about a 45-minute delay. It was like, he said it was like 10 o'clock when I was going to my apartment, and now it's 10:45. I don't think those are the exact times. It was kind of later than that, I think around midnight. But there was a 45-minute time span that he remembers being in Albuquerque walking towards his apartment and then being found out here. Now, one of my deputies calls me, who was dealing with the rollover fatal, and he informs me that the person that's inside the car deceased is a prominent person out of Albuquerque, political person. So this took on a whole different, priority now, obviously. And so I didn't want to deal with this guy because I didn't really know what to do with him. So when I get to the little town, it's about 10 miles up the road, there's a gas station and a phone booth. And I tell him, dude, I got his name, and I ran his driver's license before we left from the location there, and he was clean. And when I got to the little town, I said, here's a phone out there, man. Go use a phone, call somebody, pick you up. And he was still confused. He goes, where am I? Where am I again? And I had to give him directions. And you could tell the guy was truly just bewildered. He goes like, I have no freaking idea. What am I doing out here in the middle of nowhere in a completely dark road, in the pitch dark, laying in the middle of the road in a fetal position.
With a police officer poking him.
Yeah, I have no idea how I got here. That was pretty strange. That one left my head scratching. And, it kind of reminded me of like an alien abduction or something like that. And that's kind of why I thought I'd tie it with this. But there's a couple of officers that watch this channel that are going to remember this story. That was pretty bizarre. So anyway, that's, as always, these are true stories. Mm-hmm. Life of a cop out here in rural New Mexico. Some weird crap can happen out here. So we're out here, it's getting dark. We're gonna try to capture some UFOs. Like I said, the last couple times we were out here, and the last time we were out here, we actually seen three times we've seen it, and all three times the camera malfunctioned. Mm-hmm. And we're just focusing in and out, and you couldn't make heads or tails of it. So I'm gonna pay a little more close attention to the camera this time. Maybe I can get it to work differently, or try to get it focused in differently.
Something.
We'll give it a try. So I hope you enjoy episode 21, and happy UFO hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, welcome to Jeep Karaoke. BANANA